Hey, Dan.
What's up, Alex?
Welcome to another Wednesday game night.
I am ready.
Are you ready?
I am.
It was very bizarre, I will tell you, because Dan told me that I was not allowed to bring a game this time.
This is true.
What possibly do you have in store for us?
Well, we kind of kicked around a few games that we'd like to talk to you guys about. And one of the ones that was on the top of our list was on the top of both of our lists. So for tonight, I figured we'd do something a little special. We're going to call this double fisting.
Double fisting?
Double
Yes!
fisting. So what we're going to do is we're going to discuss one game. And we're both going to have drinks prepared for this game. So we're going to go...
You may have told me about the game ahead of time.
I did.
He did give me that much.
We're going to go head to head and see whose pairing is actually better on this.
I've got it.
We'll find out.
No chance.
It's going to be interesting either way. So what is this game that both of us love so much? It's none other than this guy.
Ark Nova.
So unless you've been living under a rock or have not been board gaming the past few years, you know what Ark Nova is. Ark Nova is a game where you are building a zoo.
Yes.
The zoo is built. There's a little tableau in front of you. It's very Terraforming Mars-esque, if I may say so myself.
Sure.
But there's just so much going on in this game.
You have to build the enclosures to be able to then draft to get the animals, to place them in. You have to, of course, have zoo bucks, the money of the game, to be able to play those animals into your zoo. But you can be getting specialists and sponsor cards, all kinds of stuff. I love those cards. Right?
Yeah, and
there's 5 action cards.
Yeah, there's a conservation aspect to this too. So in the game, what you're trying to do is build the zoo that has the most attraction, and also the most conservation aware zoo, I guess. And there's 2 different tracks for those, and they're going opposite directions, and the game ends when they do this. And then the
Rajas,
we're like
which
Rajas,
we talked about.
The farthest you are away from most distance between your 2 markers.
Yeah.
That's your score at the end of the game. So we've ended this game, at least when we started, it was like 5 to negative 15.
Yeah. Lots of negative scores when you start. Don't worry. That's to be expected.
It's fine. I've heard rumors that somebody at this table has had scores over 50. It's not me.
I love this game. I've played it way too much. And I know when we talked to our friend Rod, he is down on this game sometimes, but I have to tell you, I will make him a convert with my drink tonight. So
that could be, and you know what? There's also been situations where Rod's just wrong, and this might be one of them. So I'm gonna get this game out of here because it's big. One of the things that Alex did talk about this game is the action selection in it, which is really cool. So there's 5 cards that come out, and they're on different levels of this track, and depending on when you choose to activate those cards, that's the strength of that card. So it will allow you to do things at a greater power, or you'll be able to do more actions. The cards can also flip over through various situations that can occur through the game. When you flip them over, there's stronger actions on the backside. So it's impossible to do all of them. You're never going to do all of them, but you'll start to figure out what you want to do each game, and there's just so much variety in this. There's so much going on. Just a excellent game. I love every time we get it to the table.
I have to say, you mentioned conservation track, appeal. The other thing in the middle of the board is the research track.
Yes.
And I am such a research junkie. I feel like science is so important, so I always go for that so much in my zoo. I want to be maxed out at the top, so I love
Nerd!
Hey, listen.
Research is overrated. What you want to do is you want to be building stuff on that map. You want to upgrade your shovel as quick as you can. Says the construction guy.
Yeah.
I like the other track where you're putting your associates out there, and you're partnering with universities, and you're getting more science research, and you're taking on these conservation projects. I mean, there's so many paths to victory. And as soon as you're like, I think I've got it, you've got to go here, somebody just wrecks you with a strategy that you've never seen before. And that's just so cool. The deck of cards is big, which is a blessing and a curse, because there's so much variety in there. But also, you're like, I need like one card. I need one more card of... I need one more beast. I need one more bear. I need one more whatever.
To accomplish your objectives.
Yes, and you just can't draw them for some reason.
And I will say that, there are great cards like animals. Every animal has a function that totally aligns with its true innate ability in the real world, right? So, like, some things will be like pouch a card or something, like the kangaroo can do that or something.
Yep.
And so you can put some cards under it, and other things will let you, there's scavenger, and you can draw through the deck. I mean, it's so well designed. I mean, I love it.
And the monkeys suck. Like, people start using monkeys
Pilfer.
against you. Oh, it's so annoying. And these snakes that can constrict you. There's not a lot of player interaction in the game. And that's been a knock that we've heard from some people, is that it's kind of like multiplayer solitary. I disagree with that. I think there's enough going on, and there's worker placement aspects to it.
Yes.
Where
I always get bent on that track because you're right. Like, if you go for a partner zoo that somebody else needs because it's one of the objectives that is on the board for everyone, before somebody else, you can cripple them.
Exactly. And the conservation cards, you've got to claim those. And if you claim them at a certain level, somebody else can't claim them at a certain level. So you're constantly balancing, like, do I go to this conservation? Do I get this card? Do I go up this track? Where do I need to go? Like, what is critical this turn that I have to do that I can't be blocked out of? And to me, that's such a cool decision space constantly.
I love it. And you did mention that the deck is huge. So there's that draw deck, and it is monstrous. And I love shuffling, right? I call it the flip shoe. Anyways, whatever. I was a kid when I came up with it. But it's too big of a deck. I have to break it into smaller decks. I've never wanted a card shuffler so bad in my life.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is just a monster of a deck. I'm serious. The deck is... It takes 3 baggies for me to put it away in the box.
Oh, yeah.
It's crazy.
But, there's ways to draw multiple cards off that deck, depending on if you use your draw ability at the right strength. And there's also a market of cards as well. And you're able to, in all cases, if your draw is high enough, you can... They call it snapping. You can snap a card. You can take any card that's in that face-up display. So there's some random in how the cards come out, but if the deck's just not going your way, there's ways to mitigate that chance of random where you're going to get hopefully what you need, or you just pivot. Maybe I wasn't going to go reptiles, and maybe now I have a handful of reptiles. Guess what? I'm going reptiles now.
The reptile house.
Yeah, I want to go birds.
I do have to give a nod, though, to the designer, because... It's just an amazing game to have that many choices, that many cards. The replayability is just unbelievable.
It is. And, also adding to that, you've got this zoo layout, this little map of your zoo. Mm-hmm. And in the intro games, they're identical. But there's a different side, there's different maps, and they've got different layouts on them. With some of them have different abilities, too. So where you're starting to go, okay, yeah, I get this layout, like, it's kind of boring. Guess what? Now you're the guy that if you build whatever it is, like ice cream carts or something, I don't remember what it is, but if you build ice cream carts all over the place, you're going to score more points. Maybe that's just wishful thinking.
Pavilions and kiosks.
I want a zoo with ice cream.
Maybe that'll be in an expansion. You never know.
The ice cream expansion.
The ice cream.
You can credit me as a co-designer.
The treat expansion.
All the ice cream.
So we've talked slightly about the game.
We have.
What do you think pairs well with a game of this nature?
I am so glad you asked. There are so many directions that we can go with this. And I wanted to pick something that was a little bit out of the ordinary.
Ooh.
It's whiskey. Not too out of the ordinary for us. But, so what I did is I chose Bear Fight. So Bear Fight is an American single malt, which is actually a class of whiskey now. They're starting to come up with rules for it, and it's going to be, when you walk in Total Wine, you're going to see American single malt. And it's going to have these on it. So what American single malts are, a single malt. Here it's malted barley, 100% malted barley in this case. Bear Fight is made in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Yes! I used to live in Raleigh. I love it!
So the marketing on this thing goes, when you encounter a bear, you have two choices. You can A, fight the bear, or 2, run and potentially die.
Or play dead.
Or play dead. But there's one bear that you don't play dead with.
The grizzly.
Maybe.
Or the black bear.
Polar bear.
Oh, probably. I would probably run.
I hope it's a koala bear. But nonetheless, so this whiskey is named after those situations that you encounter and you have to stand up and fight. So
America.
It was rated a 96 out of 100 at the New York Spirits competition. The coolest thing about this that I think that I don't see with many American single malts is that it's made with ex-peated Scotch casks. So with this whiskey, there should be... There is. I mean, we drank a little bit of this.
Yeah.
There is some peated influence that comes through on it. So, my selection for tonight is it's a zoo game with bears in it. Let's have the bear fight.
And the bears are so good in this game. Elephants. I love the elephants because they give you extra conservation cards. The bears are great.
Oh, I'll let you pour your own.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
what a guy.
Sorry.
I will say that I think it's amazing that America is finishing in ex-Scotch casks because Scotches right now are in such a big ex-bourbon barrel phase and have been for a while. So I think it's fun. It's switching it up a little bit. Why not put American whiskey in Scotch barrels? And
one of the things they keep talking about is that there's a potential barrel shortage that's out there because with bourbon you've got to be in a new charred oak cask. And so what they do is you've got a new barrel that you've got to make your bourbon in. And where do those barrels go? Well, they go to Scotland. They have Scotch.
To die.
They have Scotch in ex-bourbon casks they make. Then those casks come back over here, and now we're seeing them go to American single malts. So to me, this whiskey took a little bit for me to grow on me. So with peat, you know more about this. You're more a Scotch guy. With peat, there's the potential that you're going to get the really earthy peat flavor, or you're going to get the very smoky peat flavor, or a combination of both. But peat tends to go either earthy or smoky. What do you think on this one?
Yeah. Let's take another sip. You're right, because that's what we found when we went through the trilogy, right, with Blood Rage, because one of them was very smoky and the next one was peaty.
Yep.
And I always use that one, the Valfather, to really show everybody what peat is, because if everyone says, oh, Lagavulin has so much peat, it's like, it's got a lot of smoke.
It does.
And then you go to, the Highland Park the Valfather, and it's all peat. Mm-hmm. So this one, I love this one so much. I couldn't believe it when he said this was an American whiskey the first time I had it.
Yeah, and it's really grown on me as well. To me, I get a lot of the earthy peat notes to it.
I get the peat. Yeah. Not so much the smoke.
I get no smoke from this, and that's not a bad thing. It's just a different thing.
It still has a lot of that little caramely maltiness, right?
Definitely, yeah. That malt comes through. I get some honey sweetness in there as well. It says pecan, honeysuckle.
I get the pecan.
Ripe red apple, which I think is downplayed a little bit. Dried figs, black currant, sweet sherry, and peat smoke. Which don't really get the peat smoke, but again, that is okay.
Yeah, it's not a campfire, right? Like so many can be, but I think it's muted, and I like that also because it's an American whiskey with Yeah, this is tasty.
Good choice. And if the peat scares you, there are a lot of other American single malts that are out there that aren't made in ex-peated Scotch casks. So one of my favorites is the Virginia Courage and Conviction.
Yes,
and that one's great. You may see that on a future episode of this, just because it's that darn good.
It is so good.
But yeah, bear fight. If you want to play Ark Nova, bear fight. Whiskey of choice. Drink of choice.
That is one option.
It's the option.
At the moment. So you're talking, or maybe I was talking about expansion, right? Saying that you wanted the ice cream parlor expansion. So I've been tracking for a while the Aquarius expansion. Yeah. There is an expansion. It's coming. I'm so excited.
Should be good.
Because up until this point, the expansions have been minimal. Mm-hmm. Really. Somebody came out with this map, right? And it's just 2 new maps. And look at how cool this is. This shows you, like, what a map looks like. It's, so sweet. So I like the 2 expansion maps. But I wish there were more expansions to it. So Aquarius, long awaited for all the water type, animals, fishes. Can't wait.
Maybe a dolphin.
Yeah.
Megalodon.
I think the hard time I'm going to have is that my expectations are just way too high at this point.
I think your expectations will be achieved. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be great.
I can't wait. So this is delicious.
It is.
One other thing that my wife came up with this, and I love this. So at the end of the game, you're done, and it's good job, but like Dan was saying, you could have 5 points or you could have negative 25 points, right? I mean, or more, depending on how the gameplay works. So at the end of the game, you can feel a little sour. So what we like to do is you have this in front of you, all these animals that you've placed in your zoo. Mm-hmm. You have, potentially a lot of sponsor cards out and things that you've achieved. And so what we like to do is go back and read our zoo to each other to see, even score aside, who had the cooler zoo. Because I'll tell you, sometimes I win, but I have, like, the earthworm or something random, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's a little bit wanting. And then she's got the grizzly bear and, the polar bear exhibit and, wombats and lemurs and all these cool things. So I would say she won at creating a zoo I would actually want to go to. Gotcha. So it's kind of fun at the end. I always urge everybody to play that way. Read it out at the end is like a little culminating thing.
I like that. It adds a little more theme to it as well.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Not playing for that, but...
Hey, if you're the loser, it's a nice way to spin it that you won too.
Sure. Hey, you all win when you get to play Ark Nova. That game's just a blast.
That is true. Oh, this was delicious. One last sip.
It's really good.
So, that was tasty. But, I have to always one-up you.
Or try.
Oh, sure. So, when I was younger and, of legal drinking age, somebody said, have this orangutan vodka. And I was like, orangutan vodka? That's crazy. Tell me more.
It does sound crazy.
So, I ordered a bottle for this, and I guess it's out of print, out of stock, they don't make it anymore.
Gotcha.
Because it is 3 olives, Rangtang vodka, but it's orange flavored. Look at this.
Orangutan vodka.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about orangutan on it. It's the Rangtang, but I always called it the orangutan vodka. So, for tonight's purposes, this is an orangutan vodka. Orange, right? Orange flavored, orange like the fur of an orangutan.
Okay.
Maybe it's orangutan instead of orangutan, because there's no G at the end.
I give him an A for effort.
Oh, he hasn't even tasted this
I give him an F because it's not an animal.
Oh, wait. So, how can I make this into an animal? A real animal?
I don't know.
I think we have to drink mules. So, orangutan vodka in a mule. Let's go and try this out, shall we? So I got my handy-dandy little mixer here, so...
Oh, we're getting sciencey here.
Oh!
Science!
Let's get a little ice. It's been melting a bit, so that's unfortunate.
That's okay.
All right. So, let's see here. It's, okay, we'll do a little 1, 2, 3, little... Okay. Well, I wish it were orange right now. I should have done something to make it a little orange.
A little Jolly Rancher in that.
Oh, a little Jolly Rancher? Is that back in the day?
Yeah.
A little gummy worm or something?
Had some gin with Jolly Ranchers once upon a day.
A little dash of triple sec. Okay. Orange on the orange, I guess. We're just playing on that theme. Okay, we're going to do a little lime juice. I should have cut up limes and done a whole presentation, but I'm a little...
we're not that hipster.
Ooh, let me do a little...
Ooh. Oh, that's a lot of lime.
Yeah, it's a lot of lime. Just a little...
Oh, are you getting that?
Ooh. That was lovely.
You have to shake it up in here.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And then what do you finish with?
Do a little ASMR.
Ginger beer. And I love at the top it says the mixer that lifts your spirits.
Okay.
Just like when you play Ark Nova.
Excellent.
All right. 1, 2, 4. Excellent. This is going to be delightful. And of course, you put whatever garnish you're looking for. It's ginger beer, so you don't need to shake it up too much. Just enough to get that going, because you don't
Still want the bubbles.
Explosion. All right. And of course, I should have made a little bit of a double, but let's just try this out here. Oop, that sounded like, All right, let's try it out.
All right.
The orangutan mule to go with Ark Nova.
Cheers. That's dangerous, man.
That is so good.
That is good.
That is one heck of a drink there.
Yeah, I could, I could drink those all night and become an orangutan.
I know. So it's a sneaky little drink. Mules are tasty, as they are. Vodka is sneaky, right? You don't taste it that much of it in here, especially you've got the ginger beer, but you mix that out on the other side with the orange, right? The triple sec, the lime juice cuts it a bit, so it's not as fizzy as it would seem.
I like the fizz in it. It tastes a little mapley to me. I don't know if that's the ginger beer or the
Barrett's.
vodka.
I use Barrett's instead of Gosling's. It's a Bermuda ginger beer.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different flavor, but you get that sugar cane.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's that sugar cane.
Oh, it's tasty.
That is excellent.
So, going back to the game for a second, my wife for Christmas got an addition to the game. Something a little exciting.
Okay.
I was so excited when she got it. And it is these. They're upgraded pieces.
Oh.
So
I haven't seen these yet.
One is a monkey, right? Ooh. As your meeple instead of just like, a figure. You've got your regular head people, but then you have these little like baboons. Oh, I can't show it. Let's look. Oh, it's too close. But each one is different. So, like, one guy is, like, the polar bear guy, and he's got penguins and stuff. This other guy's got camels.
That's really neat. I've never seen those.
Yeah, I know. So, we went on Etsy. Where do you go to, like, get upgraded pieces sometimes when they're not driven? And they're actually made in the Ukraine.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool.
So I thought that was...
support them a little bit.
I know. I was like, an amazing country, an amazing drink, an amazing game. It all works so well.
It does. Now, you know what one of my favorite pieces is? I don't own this. Alex does. Can you see this? This is a little coffee cup. So, the game comes with like this block of wood that's supposed to represent a coffee cup.
That's the biggest knock I have against the game is awful wood coffee cup.
It does. It looks like one of those like heads sculptures with the big nose. It's awful. This thing is so cool, and I'm so jealous that Alex has this. It's ridiculous. Like the jealousy that I'm having, the envy I'm having over this little coffee cup. Just not even appropriate as an adult.
Well, if you wonder where
you have that.
If you wonder where I got this, I attended the Dice Tower retreat, and last year they do this little game shuffle around thing, right?
Yep.
At the end of the retreat, which is absolutely wonderful. If you ever are there, you should totally go and participate. And so you bring a couple games or something really fabulous to join to the table, and then your name gets drawn out of the hat, and you go up and pick a game. And my wife was screaming at me, "You need to get Northgard," because we played it. She loves it.
It's good.
Oh, another Viking game we might have to bring to the table sometime soon. But I went up and I got Ark Nova so that I could get this cup. And I know that sounds ridiculous, but if it's your favorite thing, obviously I was in the right there.
And if you wonder where that is at the end of the night, I probably took it. Good chance.
It's probably true. So something about the game, you talk about that, I love playing it, and I think part of the success that I have with it is that the sponsor cards cannot be ignored.
Oh, yeah.
Because at the end of the game, a lot of them have end of game points. So people are so obsessed sometimes looking to see how soon somebody's crossing and if they achieve their objectives that they might not notice how many points I typically have end game, other things that I've accomplished through those sponsor cards. And so it gets to end game scoring and they will throw out 3, maybe up to 4 points. And then I have about 8, 15 sometimes.
Yeah.
End game. So it's important.
Yep.
So to those of you who are new at the game, sponsor cards, don't underestimate them.
Agreed.
What do you think?
I thought it was, I mean...
So now we have our...
I don't like vodka typically, but that was amazing. Very good.
So now we're at the point. What do we do? Since it's our first double fisting episode. Thanks for not leaving me double hanging.
I should have.
Do we score this differently? Do we mark it on here twice because of the different pairings?
I don't know. That might be unfair to the rest of the games, now that I think more about it.
Okay.
What do you think?
All right. Let's try it. So, where do you think Ark Nova and our parent... But now see, we have 2 pairings. So it's like double the excitement.
This is true. And, this is the official list. Like, this is the list to end all lists. Like, the importance that people have put on this list. It's taking the internet by storm.
It has. So I think that, to be fair, we should do them separately. And the reason for that is, can we ever go back to another game, maybe, and then pair it with something better to bring it up higher?
That could be.
Okay. All right. So
yeah, because we wouldn't want to go back and revisit Blood Rage with a weaker whiskey and then it fall down. So I think it needs to be on there twice.
All right. So Bear Fight and Ark Nova. Where would you place them? That's tough. Knowing how much I love Ark Nova and how surprising Bear Fight was for me, it ranks.
Yeah. It's not Blood Rage level.
It's not.
Unfortunately. I'm not even sure that it's Rasha's level.
It's not. But
I might put it above Rising Sun and the Kaio.
I think I would.
So then that makes it easy. Bear Fight is your new number 3 game pairing with Ark Nova.
Could it be knocked out as quick as we started?
We can end there.
No,
we're done.
Are we
Have a
sure?
good night, guys.
Are we sure? So Ark Nova and the Orangutan Mule. Where do you think that rates?
Probably above Bear Fight.
I went through a lot to put this cocktail together, and that is a good cocktail now.
Dude, this cork, getting this cork out of this bottle takes a lot of work.
I had to get this bottle shipped special for this episode because it's out of print, Dan. Well, I think that we can
This is something board gamers can relate to, out of print.
I think it's a little up in the air. We'll have to maybe let others decide for us, but I think that
I think the orangutan is more powerful than the bear tonight.
Woo! It's not the only thing I'm going to win. I'm going to win Ark Nova tonight, too. Trust me.
Possibly. It could happen.
Well, this was so much fun. Thank you, Dan,
this was a good one.
for bringing this idea to the table, bringing an amazing whiskey.
Able to double fist. So Ark Nova holds 2 of our top 5 spots, which is kind of cool. And it's a game that deserves it.
It's amazing. So, another great episode from Boards and Bottles.
Boards and Bottles. Game hard. Drink responsibly.
Cheers.
Can I have your coffee cup? Just let me hold on to it a little bit. Thank you.